All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into something pretty heavy, actually.
Yeah.
It's this whole Butterball controversy that's been kind of exploding online. We've got a ton of articles, social media posts. People are fired up about this one, so
Yeah.
we're going to try to break it all down, look at what people are saying, how Butterball's responding, and kind of what it means for the bigger picture of animal welfare and the food industry. So
For sure. It's a
big one.
it's a big one, yeah.
And just a heads up, some of this stuff can be kind of disturbing.
Yeah.
So just a reminder to take care of yourselves while we're talking about this.
It's a really complex situation with some really big implications.
Yeah, absolutely. So this all started with a video that resurfaced recently. It was actually filmed way back in 2006
Wow.
at a Butterball processing plant in Ozark, Arkansas. And it was part of an undercover investigation by PETA.
Okay.
And it's really sparked outrage and calls for a boycott.
It's wild how something from, almost 20 years ago can just pop up and have such a huge impact.
It's crazy.
Especially now, information travels so fast online.
It's true.
Especially something shocking and, with so much emotion tied to it.
Yeah, it's like a time capsule.
Yeah.
It's like someone just opened it up and it's like, boom, here it is. Yeah. And the video itself, it's really hard to watch. Workers allegedly slamming turkeys against cages, stomping on their heads.
Oh.
Even accounts of sexual abuse towards these birds.
Oh, wow.
It's really tough to stomach.
It's definitely graphic. And I mean, it really makes you wonder about the conditions in that facility
I know.
back then.
And it went viral like that.
Yeah.
Millions of views. Just this huge debate online.
Yeah.
What do you think it was about this particular video that really hit people so hard?
I mean, you can't deny that seeing that footage, it's just so in your face,
Yeah.
You hear about animal cruelty, but to actually see it like that,
It's different.
it's different. And it's not something you can just ignore.
And it's right before Thanksgiving, too.
Oh, yeah.
When everyone's buying turkeys.
Of course.
I mean, you got to think that plays into it, too.
I mean, the timing could not be worse for Butterball.
Couldn't be worse.
Thanksgiving's their big season, and then boom, this is all anyone's talking about.
So how did Butterball respond to this whole explosion? They issued a statement, right?
They did, yeah. And they were pretty quick about it, too. They basically emphasized that the footage is, almost 20 years old,
right,
and that things are different now.
Right.
They also pointed out that they're certified by American Humane. That's a big animal welfare organization, so they're trying to show they're committed to ethical treatment.
Do you think that's going to work? I mean, just saying it's old footage, is that enough to change people's minds?
I mean, it's a common tactic when you're trying to do damage control.
Yeah.
But whether it'll really resonate with people, I don't know.
I mean, the allegations are so bad.
They are.
It's hard to believe that things could just change overnight like that.
Right. It's a big jump.
So what about this American Humane certification? Does that actually mean anything in a situation like this?
Well, it is a widely recognized certification.
Okay.
And it does mean they're held to certain animal welfare standards. But you have to remember, it's based on audits and inspections. And those aren't perfect,
Right. So there's still an element of trust there.
Exactly.
It's not like a foolproof guarantee that everything's okay.
Right. And especially when you have this video showing something that seems totally opposite to, humane treatment, people might not really buy it.
For sure. And then there's PETA.
Oh, right.
The ones who actually filmed the video in the first place. They've been pretty loud about all this.
Yeah, they have.
Haven't they?
They've been sharing that video everywhere.
Yeah.
Calling for a boycott, pushing for a vegan lifestyle. It's definitely their moment.
Yeah, their project manager, Amber Canavan, she was quoted saying, nothing humane has ever happened in a slaughterhouse.
Wow.
I mean, that's pretty hardcore, right?
It is, yeah.
It definitely shows where they stand. Pete has always been known for, their shock tactics,
Yeah.
Trying to get attention. Do you think it works? I mean, is it effective for animal welfare?
Well, I mean, they definitely get people talking.
Yeah.
They bring these issues to light. But it can also be pretty divisive,
right.
Yeah,
some people might be turned off by it.
Exactly. It's like, how do you raise awareness without pushing people away? It's tough. But no matter what you think of their methods, you can't deny that they've played a big role in all this coming out.
Yeah, for sure. It's a big conversation to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're going to keep diving into it, so stay tuned.
All right. This whole thing makes you think, It's not like this is the first time a company's been called out for how they treat animals.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be the last.
I feel like things are changing, though. Like consumers are waking up. They want to know where their food comes from,
Right. They want transparency.
Transparency.
Accountability, yeah.
Yeah.
Social media has been huge for that.
Huge.
It's like, finally, consumers have a way to say, hey, this isn't okay.
Exactly.
And they can actually make companies listen.
And it's fast.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that information just explodes. And that can really hurt a company's reputation.
Especially now, yeah.
Like financially, too. I mean, look at Butterball.
Yeah, I mean...
Instant outrage online.
People are furious.
People are furious.
And that boycott's still going strong.
It's powerful. It shows you what consumer activism can do.
Consumers are basically voting with their dollars now.
They are?
They're supporting companies that share their values, and companies are paying attention. They have to.
Yeah, they have to adapt, or they're going to get left behind.
Exactly. It's like the food industry's at a crossroads.
It really is.
And this whole demand for ethical, sustainable food, it's exploding.
It's not just a trend anymore.
Not at all.
It's the future. So how do you think this is all going to play out? I mean, will humane and sustainable practices actually become the norm?
I wish I had a crystal ball.
Right.
But, I mean, there's so much potential for good here.
There is.
But it's going to take a lot of work.
Right.
Consumers, companies, policymakers, we all need to be on the same page.
So it's not just about individual choices. It's about the system, too.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, think about it. Government regulations,
Right.
industry standards, those are crucial for protecting animals.
So what kind of regulations would actually make a difference? I mean, something that would prevent what we saw in that video.
Well, for starters, we could strengthen those animal cruelty laws. More inspections, like really cracking down on factory farms and processing plants, and stricter standards overall for housing and transporting animals.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But is there a downside to more regulation?
I mean, there's always that debate.
Right.
Regulation versus free market, Some people say too much regulation stifles innovation.
Right.
It drives up costs for businesses. But when it comes to animal welfare, I think a lot of people believe that those stricter rules are necessary.
To protect the animals.
Exactly, yeah.
It's complicated.
It is.
So many different perspectives.
Yeah.
But we have to find a way to make it work.
Yeah.
For businesses and for the animals.
And that's where consumer pressure comes in,
Yeah, that's right.
Consumers can demand better standards. They can choose companies that are already doing the right thing.
So we're not powerless. We have a say in this.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's not about waiting for the government or the industry to fix it. We can make choices that match our values. And we can push for that more ethical, sustainable food system.
Exactly. Every purchase you make, it's a vote. You're saying, this is what I support.
I like that. A vote with your dollar.
Yeah.
This Butterball thing has really opened my eyes.
It has for a lot of people.
To the whole food system. The choices we make.
The impact we have, yeah.
And it's not just about turkeys, right?
Right. It's bigger than that.
It's about all the animals that are raised for food.
We have to remember they're living beings. They deserve to be treated with respect and compassion.
And we have to acknowledge that what we do, it matters.
Our choices have consequences, but we also have the power to change things for the better.
I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, to be honest.
I get it.
It's a lot to take in. What can people do if they're feeling the same way?
Well, first of all, don't get discouraged.
Okay.
You don't have to change everything overnight. Even small changes can make a difference.
Like what?
You could try reducing how much meat you eat.
Okay.
Maybe choose plant-based options more often. Look into the companies you buy from. Find ones with good animal welfare policies. You could even support organizations working to improve things for animals in the industry.
That's actually really helpful.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like I can actually do something.
You absolutely can.
Instead of just feeling helpless.
It's about making informed choices and speaking up for what you believe in.
It's a journey.
It is, yeah.
We're all learning and growing.
We don't have to be perfect. Just keep asking questions and keep making conscious choices.
I like that. So where do we go from here? I mean, we've talked about the initial reactions and everything.
Right.
But what about the long-term impact? What do you think?
Well, it's tough to say for sure, but this could be a real turning point for the whole food industry.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, it's really exposed this gap between what consumers want and what's actually happening.
It's like consumers are saying, hey, we care about animal welfare.
Exactly.
And we want to know that the companies we're supporting are doing things right.
They want transparency. They want accountability.
And they're not going to stay quiet about it.
Right. Social media has given them a voice.
A big one.
Yeah, a really powerful one.
It's not like the old days where companies could just sweep things under the rug.
Nope, not anymore.
This whole thing has really put factory farming in the spotlight.
Yeah, it's front and center now.
Do you think it'll lead to people eating less meat?
It's definitely possible.
I mean, those images from the video,
They stick with you.
they do.
They make you think about where your food really comes from.
And maybe look for alternatives.
Yeah, like plant-based options or meat from sources you trust.
What about the companies themselves? Do you think they'll actually change the way they do things?
Well, they're definitely feeling the pressure to be more humane, more sustainable.
I mean, consumers are making different choices now.
Right, they're voting with their wallets.
And it's not just consumers. Investors are starting to care about this stuff too.
Absolutely. It's not just about PR anymore. It's about the bottom line.
It's smart business to make these changes.
Exactly. And the companies that are already doing it, the ones prioritizing animal welfare, being transparent, they're going to come out on top.
It's kind of amazing to see how much power we have as consumers.
It is, yeah.
We can actually make a difference.
Absolutely. We're not just bystanders. We have a voice. We can make choices that reflect our values.
And create a better world.
Exactly.
Well, I think that's a good place to wrap things up. We've covered a lot today.
We have.
Some pretty heavy stuff.
It's a lot to process.
But I don't want people to feel defeated.
No, absolutely not.
This is about empowerment.
It is.
Knowing that we can create change.
Even small steps matter.
That's right.
Every little bit counts.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been great talking about this.
It has, and hopefully it's given everyone some food for thought.
Yeah, and remember, every choice we make can have a ripple effect.
So make those choices count. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into a timely topic.
Sounds good.